everyone. This is Tracy. Welcome back to my channel. This is week number 4 of our Sketch to the Max. Crafty Meggy and I are doing a collaboration. It's every other week. We're doing it on Fridays. I think we may be changing it up for the month of April. But we are using the same sketch for 4 weeks and then moving on to a new sketch. Well, this week, we changed it up because she said that she was going to use the new Pick Me Up collection by Paige Evans. And I recently had received some of the pieces. So we tried to make sure, well, I tried to see if I had the same pieces that she had. And she told me what she's planning to use, yada, yada. Well, not sure if I used the same ones that she did, but these are the ones that I used. So I was changing it up because every week I was trying to make it a little bit different so it didn't look like I was using the same sketch every time. And this time I'm doing some mixed media. So what I am doing here is I'm masking off 3 inches. It's going to end up being over between the middle and the right side, and this is just some cardstock that was kind of like I had gotten it from work, and it wasn't anything that I would ever use, so I didn't mind tearing it up, and I'm using it as a mask. So you see uh, that vertical line right there that I am planning on putting the stencil down. So this stencil is from Vicky Booten, and I had received it in my kit, and I was thinking about using that gesso, but I end up using this matte, and I will print what brand it is. I use it all the time, and I'm just using a spatula and running it, over the stencil. Now, it will dry, and this is very similar to, oh, I would say Mod Podge. So it is like a glue, but I was trying to use it as a resist because I'm wanting to watercolor, and I am doing this on watercolor paper. So I couldn't decide, whether to use the marshmallow paper, but I went ahead and used watercolor paper since I knew for sure I was going to do some watercolor over the resist. And the photos that I'm using are of my daughter in the bathtub. And I thought, well, bubbles and round, and I thought it all kind of went together. So there's the Pick Me Up. That's Paige Evans collection, and that's number 15. And I'm trying to see I don't know if you can see it, but once it dried, so I had done it early in the morning. And then when I got home that night from work, it was completely dry. And I got out my Prima watercolors. This is the tropical set. This is the only set that I have. And I'm trying to match the background of the number 15 paper. So there is an ochre color and kind of an olive green color. And I combined those two together, and I thought it matched beautifully. At least it coordinated well together. So, first I'm basically putting down a wash. I wasn't, I'm a little upset with myself that I had used the paper towels to pick up most of the color because I had to go over it again. I really, really like this color, but I'm trying to stay within the confines of the area that I had masked off. So I do like the way this is looking right now, but there are some puddles, where I had put the mat is, it had some of the watercolor on it. I was really wanting to get that up, so it really lightened it a little too much. So now I'm going to need to combine the colors together, and now I'm actually going to do like, watercolor drips. And I really like how this turned out. So it has the background. It's kind of a lime green color, I would say, but then it has these darker ochre colors in it. I love the dimension that it gives. I really, it's very defined. And I love the way that this is matching. And so I set that aside to dry. And so here are my photos, and these are pretty old. Um, this These are what, 25 years old, and I know that I had at least thought about putting them in a scrapbook at one point, maybe, I don't know, 15 years ago when I was still rounding corners of my photo. So one of the photos has rounded corners and I'm sorry, I just had to go ahead and round all of the corners and I needed them all to match. That's just me. Some people don't do that, but it was really bothering me. So, in a little corner rounder, I think that's a no, it's not Fisker. I don't well, to be honest with you, I don't know who makes that little corner rounder. Of course, cutting off the branding strip because I need to, cut I think I do 2.5 inches on for one of the stripes because, there's stripes that are vertical and horizontal, so now I need to get something for the horizontal stripes. So I'm going to use, um the front and the back of this paper. So the wider is this, uh, whatever this ochre color is with the circles on it, and then the thinner is this blue. It is kind of variegated. It goes from dark to light, but it's blue with dark blue lines in it. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do this. First, I thought about doing it like that, but I really liked how the photos were stacked one on top of the other. So I do a little change here. And the photos, they were probably both taken with her, horizontally, but she's got such a cute smile. I really wanted to focus on that. So I made that one vertical, but I wanted to have both of them in there. And then one of the other elements that we were going to include were the washi strips. So I choose this pink one to put down on the side, and that does match the sketch. There's like 3 elements that need to be side by side. And then there is a round element. So I'm looking for something that coordinate with the round, for the round element that matches what I already have. And I choose this paper that has the words on it, and I've used it a couple of times already. So it is number 17. And I do ink all of the edges of the papers, including the round element there. And I just didn't want to bore you guys with watching me do that. Making sure everything's going to fit because I think the next thing I do is look at oh, yeah, I wanted to mat the photos, but I don't round the corners of the mat. But I wanted to have some white around it because I've gotten very accustomed to having my photos with this white border around it. And I use my little guillotine trimmer, which I absolutely love. And I have my name in the hat to get another one. Either they haven't come in yet or they're on back order. So I want to make sure I got the larger size of that. I'm pretty excited about that. All right, so going through the die pack, uh, I don't have I don't use very many pieces from that. I had used the tag on another page. In fact, I had made a 8.5 by 11 page using this sketch, but the photo that I used was really a postcard, and I was concerned about the copyright of the postcard, so I chose not I filmed it, but I'm not going to post it, but I will show it in my monthly, but I'll have a sticker over the postcard. It's a beautiful postcard of the Louvre when we were in Paris. So I didn't want to step on anybody's toes. So I end up using the tag, a couple of the frames, and the little boat. I trimmed that little bitty frame, and I kinda wish I didn't do that, because it left me with another piece I'm not sure if I'll ever use again, and I coulda just left it in there and have, less leftovers. We're all about using up our stash. Alright, so adhering everything down using my ATG gun, which I absolutely love. I didn't have to pick it up, once I put something down, it pretty much stayed down, on this layout, and I pulled from my stash, and to be honest with you, I don't know where these came from, but it's foam words, and of course, I picked the word "smile." I do pull out a couple of hearts and trying to place those somewhere. And the only thing that I put on foam tape is this little boat, and I think I got every minute little spot on that boat with some foam tape. So funny because sometimes I just barely put foam tape on a bigger piece, but this itty bitty piece, I made sure that it was completely covered. Alright, so here are a couple of the hearts, and I put one there at the top, and it just looks weird up there, thinking about this arrow. But do you see those bows in the top right-hand corner? Yeah, I almost forgot about those. So those are from Bella Boulevard, and I got those at Tuesday Morning, actually, and I already knew perfectly it would go under the word "smile." So I took the arrow away as well as the heart at the top, and I like it much better. So I'm gonna mix that color, once again because I'm gonna do some big splatters, and I cover up my photos, and I take the bow off because I don't want to have anything ruined on this, and I let it dry, and I once it dries, it has such a beautiful color. It is not muted at all because I wanted it to be striking. Now, the color that I had inked around the edges was I think it was like sapphire blue. It was a distressed ink, and it's not quite black, and I do think that you need to have black around, in your layout. So, I worried about this all day long, and I came back it was the next day, I came back and decided that I was gonna outline where I had masked off, for the mixed media, and add some other little spots of black within the mixed media area. And it's different. I saw somebody else do something similar to it earlier in the day in a video that I'm watching, and I think I'm watching Sarah Scraps right now. She was going over a kit that she just got, so I was just kinda watching that. And so I thought, well, it still needs a little something. And rarely do I do black splatters. So instead I do night moves. So it's kind of a dark gray. I don't think it's a black. And I sprinkle that on and it is perfect. It is the perfect amount of black. So here are the still shots. I want to say thanks for watching. Give thumbs up if you'd like. And don't forget to check out Crafty Meggy's um, her channel. All right. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.